Hi everyone, a warm welcome to TGIF for yet another exciting episode. In the last episode, we discussed the importance of MCP and how Azure API Management Gateway helps us to onboard new or existing APIs onto APIM for MCP support. Now, there are a lot more features that we are yet to discover from an APIM standpoint, especially when it comes to MCP support. And to join me on this conversation, I have Satish Kamalchand, who's going to cover the rest of functionalities for us. Hey Satish, warm welcome to DJF.
Hello, Divya. It's great to be here again.
Yeah. So Satish, so in continuation with our last topic, we spoke about onboarding APIs onto APIM platform from an MCP tooling support standpoint. Now we understand that MCP is a whole huge ecosystem out there, right? And there are a lot more tool providers who have brought in their own MCP servers. So do we have any support for these external MCP servers on our Azure platform?
Yeah, that's a great question, Divya. So you're absolutely right. There is great momentum around the MCP project, and a lot of existing solution providers are making their capabilities MCP compatible and are making them available as an MCP tool. Right. So, for example, GitHub has an MCP tool endpoint. Azure from Microsoft, within Microsoft, Azure has its own MCP tool capability. Other providers like MongoDB, like Salesforce, they have their own MCP tools. Now, when we build agents, there is a need to integrate with variety of existing MCP servers. So Azure API Management provides us the ability to onboard existing MCP servers and securely expose them. When we talk about security, we are talking about inbound security into the API gateway and accessing the existing MCP server from API management also in a secure manner.
So, as we understand, Satish, you brought about multiple things here, right? One is security and governance of the MCP servers. Now, we know that there are so many MCP servers out there. How do we bring in a unified plane for governance and securing all of these MCP servers out there?
Yeah, again, a great question, Divya. So within Azure, we have a capability called Azure API Center,
Mhm.
which was acting as a registry and repository for APIs. We are extending that offering to act as a registry for MCP servers as well. So what this essentially means is that we have one place where discovery of various MCP tools becomes possible. Now,
Mhm.
these MCP tools are specific and internal to your enterprise. So, Azure API Center is the right capability for this need.
Got it. So, we now have support for MCP registry on APIM, if I understand.
That's correct. We have support for MCP registry in Azure, and the capability is called Azure API Center.
Got it. So, can we have a quick demo on this, Satish?
Yeah, sure, Divya. Let's look at the capabilities that we were talking about. Now, since we last discussed about the need for discovery and governance of the various MCP tools, I mentioned to you about Azure API Center. So one implementation of this is the mcp.azure.com. It's a publicly available endpoint. Now, if you see here, you will be able to find a list of existing MCP tools that has been registered and made available in this particular endpoint.
Got it.
Now, yeah, let's now look at, so this kind of covers the discovery part. Now, let's assume that I want to expose one of this existing MCP server using Azure API management.
Mhm.
Let's have a look at that. So let me go to Microsoft Learn, for example, the MCP server endpoint. If I want my agent to make a call to this MCP server, I would want to securely access this endpoint. So if I go to my Azure API management, I can click on create MCP server and click on expose an existing MCP server and then provide the endpoint detail. Now, apart from giving details about this particular MCP server, if there is a need to send it a token for securing access, all of that can be done as well. I have already created this existing MCP server. So let me show you this MS Learn MCP tool. Now here in the policies, I can add policies around rate limiting, around throttling, around security, etc. Right? So this way, existing MCP servers can also be securely exposed using Azure API management. Now, we looked at the mcp.azure.com endpoint that is powered by Azure API Center. So this is the Azure API Center tool. So here, if I go to the discovery pane, you will find the list of MCP tools, right? These are, let's say, the partner MCP tools that has been registered in Azure API Center. Apart from this, my existing MCP servers that I have built in API management can also be made available by integrating my API management solution with API Center. So when I integrate an existing API management solution with API Center, all the REST APIs as well as the MCP tools in that API management environment become available for discovery in my API Center endpoint.
So thank you so much, Satish, for that demo. And it looks like today we have ways and means where people can discover MCP servers, they can onboard them, they can govern them by applying the necessary policies, etc. And you have a one-stop shop to understand and learn all of these MCP servers and expose that to your AI agents in a much more safe, secure, and a unified manner. So with that, I think we've completed the two-part series in this topic, MCP plus APIM gateway. Please do try this on the Azure portal. It's available for you for trial. So try this and let us know. Please do reach out in case you have any questions. Until then, signing off. Bye bye.